Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Araya. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. And we're going to go ahead and get right into today's topic, okay? Because if you feel like you're lazy, if you feel like you're broken, if you feel like you're unmotivated, I'm here to tell you that that's not true. You're just stuck in survival mode. That's all it is. I'm telling you, that's what it is. All these labels that you're putting on yourself, all these labels that we put on ourselves, it doesn't do nothing but make us feel worse, and it just keep us stuck and trapped in survival mode. And so today's video, I'm going to teach you how to get out of that. We're going to be talking about how to get out of that. Now, I've felt stuck so many times in my life. Okay, there's so many times where I definitely needed a reset. And every time that I would try to get my life together, what I would usually do is craft this big plan and this dream routine, and I'll be like, I'm gonna start on Monday. And girl, listen, by Monday, did I start it on Monday? Yes, but by Wednesday to Thursday, I'm burnt out. Okay, because I was trying to fix everything at once. Like, I'm gonna be going to the gym at this time, and I'm gonna eat like this, and I'm gonna read this many pages a day, and I was also working, so I'm also gonna go to work, and then I'm gonna work on these other things after work. Like, I was just trying to just make it all happen at once, and I just kept burning out, which was perpetuating the cycle of feeling stuck, because I would get started and then I would burn out, I'd stop, and I just kept feeling stuck, because I was like, why am I not, moving past this level in life? So I realized pretty much that shit is what's gonna help me get unstuck. And I'm telling you, that's not what's gonna help you get unstuck. Constantly trying to, especially if you're a person that says, I'm gonna wait till Monday. I'm gonna start on Monday. I'm gonna start on one day. Listen, the only time that exists is right now. Time is a social construct, okay? The only moment you have is now. Now, I'm not saying that everything you think of, you need to do it absolutely in that moment. But what I am saying is, if you need like a predicated date, like a specific date to start showing up better and start being better for yourself, if you're one of those people that say, one day I'm going to lock in and get in the gym, one day I'm going to start taking my fitness serious, one day I'm going to start learning about this, one day I'm going to get my money right, one day I'm going to start budgeting. If it's always one day, that one day will never come. But you have a decision if today or tomorrow, you have a decision of if this is going to be day one. It's one day or day one. Simple. That's why I don't mind, for me personally, I don't mind if I say I'm about to fast. Like, say I say I'm going to fast. I don't mind starting on a Friday if I need to, because I don't let the world tell me how to live. Like, you think just because normally, or even on Saturday, if I say I'm going to start working out on a Saturday, just because most of the world is out on Saturdays and brunching and doing all types of stuff, that don't mean I can't get my workout in. So you have a choice. Is it going to be one day, or is it going to be day one? Now, here's another thing. I think a lot of times we use discipline as a punishment instead of a tool for self-respect. And this is honestly the mindset shift I had to make, because you pretty much, when you become an adult, you have to parent yourself. You have to reparent yourself, because maybe there were ways in which how you want to show up, but you were not raised, that way. So discipline to me is self-love and self-respect in action. Do I feel like exercising every day? No, I don't. Let me tell y'all, last week I had a horrible period. And this might be a little TMI, but I had a horrible period, and my cramps were killing me. Like, they were absolutely killing me. And I did not force myself to go to the gym last week, but because I have a commitment to living an active lifestyle, and I've made the commitment within myself that I'm still going to move my body and exercise, I walked. And I walked a total of 18 miles last week. And I was literally on my period all week with some of the worst cramps I've had in years. I took medicine, but I honored my body's needs, but I was also disciplined enough because I had enough respect for myself to know that, Araya, if you don't do anything this week, it's more likely that you're going to get off of your routine. You're going to get off track. And I did not want that for myself. So I said, okay, well, walking, all I got to do is take it one step at a time. So that's what I did. I wasn't forcing myself to lift nothing heavy. I wasn't even forcing myself to walk fast because a lot of times when I go on my walks, I usually, do like a brisk walk, of course, because it's cardio. But I didn't even force myself to walk fast. I said, it don't matter how fast or slow you go, you're just still going to walk today. And that's what I did because I have enough self-respect for myself to do that now. Old Araya, okay, she would have, I loved a good excuse. I used to love a good excuse. I would have found a reason or a way or an excuse to not even walk. I would have tried to say, oh, I just need to stay in bed because, whatever, my period. No, no. Day one, when my period was at its worst, I didn't do anything. And I was okay with that because I knew that usually I just have one really bad day and the rest I could tolerate. I told myself last week, as long as I get up and walk at least 3 or 4 times this week out of the 7 days, I'm good. So, discipline is a tool for self-respect. I respected myself enough to still get up and do what I needed to do. So don't look at discipline as a punishment because the discipline that you're trying to implement is for the greater good of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or to bring forth in your life. So if that's studying, literally yesterday, right? Y'all, as y'all know, I day trade and I really love day trading. Realign, okay? Realign. This is where you need to check in with your needs, not your shoulds, not what you feel like you should be doing, with your needs. Because a lot of times the reason why when we try to reset our lives or get our lives together and we start and then we stop, we are pursuing things that may not be in alignment with what we really want for ourselves in our lives. So this is where you're going to get clear on what season are you in. Before I became this person, there was a version of me that had to get clear on where I was. Where was I with my health? How did I feel? How much did I weigh? What did my body look like? All of that. I had to get clear. What season am I currently in, just in my life, period? For me, I was like, okay, where do I live? What am I doing for work? How much money am I bringing in? How much money am I spending? Oh my God, my allergies. How much money am I bringing in? How much money am I spending? I had to get clear on these things. You cannot figure out where you're going if you don't first know where you're at. So you have to get clear on what season are you in. And then you're going to look at, what do you value? What do you value? What's important to you? What matters to you? Just don't think of things that should matter to you based on what someone else told you, whether it was the way you were raised, whether it was, people from school, whatever it is. What do you actually value for yourself? What's important to you? And then what is your body and your soul trying to tell you? Do you spend time being quiet enough to see what comes up for you mentally? Do you spend time being still enough or stretching out to see what parts of your body, like what's going on in and within your body? When's the last time you just went to a doctor for a well checkup? Not because something's wrong, but just to see what's the state of my body? What could I be working on? I did not take it for granted when my last well checkup, when I was studying, okay, for 4 hours. I bought this new trading book and I got in the book and I was studying. I could have been doing so much other things with my time when I was studying. I wanted to be doing so many other things with my time. Hell, I wanted to be laying down watching Netflix. But I have a commitment to mastering the skill of trading so that I can create generational wealth for me and my family, because I understand the power of investing and the power of day trading. So I overrode my current excuse or, whatever, the laziness, the part of the unmotivatedness, that I overrode that with my desire to see my family live a certain type of lifestyle, which meant that I needed to study my trading. So it's a tool for self-respect. A lot of times, a lot of people ask me, how do I stay motivated to stay in the gym? Because for those of y'all if this is your first time watching me, I'm a wellness coach. And so a lot of times people will ask me, like, how do you stay motivated to stay in the gym? Like, what makes you keep going? I honestly just consider how I feel about myself. Like, when you get to a place where you're so tired of feeling like shit about yourself, like you just you don't like you, when you're tired of feeling like that, tired of feeling like a fraud, tired of feeling like you just always say you're gonna do something and never do it, you hate that feeling. And I had enough of it. Like, I just got sick and tired of my own shit. You got to be sick and tired of your own shit. I was sick and tired of my own shit. I said, you know what, I'm gonna start doing the things I said I'm gonna do. So for me, what keeps me motivated is how I will feel about myself after the fact. There are some days I absolutely do not want to go to the gym, but you know what I do? What I will do? I said, okay, I might not make it to the gym today, but I can do 50 squats and I can make myself do 50 push-ups. And I'm not talking about like I'm busting out 50 push-ups at once. I'm talking about I might do 10, stop, do 5, stop, do another 10, stop, do 5, stop. But until I get to 50, that's what I'll do. Because I leave no room for excuses in my life. Because I know I want to feel good about myself. Whenever you know how in TV there used to be the little devil on the shoulder and the angel on the shoulder. Whenever the little devil on the shoulder used to will be like, don't go to the gym. I don't feel like going. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna work out. The little angel says, okay, you might not need to go to the gym, but you can squat. You can stand up right now and you can do 20 squats, and you can do another 20 squats, and then you can do another 20 squats, and at least you did some squats today. How would you feel about yourself if you did that? That's just my thought process. That's the way that I do it. That's just me. Discipline is a tool for self-respect. And I really want y'all to get that through y'all's head, because in order for you to properly reset, in order for us to properly realign, we need to be committed to ourselves. I want you to commit to yourself. I want you to commit to your higher self. Commit to her. Commit to that version of yourself that is fit, that is toned, that does have a lot of energy. Now, I could not imagine not working out. Literally, I'm going to put a picture in here. I have like a picture, a tracker on my wall. I have a little whiteboard where I track my workouts, and I pretty much just track with a check mark how many workouts I did for the week. My goal is to do like minimum of 3, but right now I'm at like, I want to do 4 to 5 days a week. But I just track to make sure I'm staying on track, and I have it in my room so I can see it, so that if Wednesday gets here and I have not done a single workout, that lets me know, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at least Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you need to work out, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, it's a tool. It helps me. Like I said, I'm going to put a picture. Habit tracking has changed my relationship with myself and discipline. So that's that. When the doctor told me, like, I was healthy, they told me I was perfectly healthy, and the only thing that they had any concerns about was I had a slightly higher cholesterol, but they said it wasn't high. Like, they said the levels that my cholesterol was at, they would be concerned if I was 65 years old. They was not concerned about the levels at 25. That was the only thing they had to say. Everything was good. My blood pressure was great, like everything. And I take that as a blessing, coming from a family who most people have high blood pressure and take blood pressure medication, and like just all these different things. I'm grateful for that. But I did that to get clear, because guess what, y'all? There was a time in my life where I went to the doctor and there were so many things wrong with me, especially like when I was vaping. They were talking about doing like exploratory procedures to put a tube down my throat to see, to look into my lungs. Like, there was a time where my doctor's reports was going crazy. I stayed being sick. And honestly, I think that is also what has made me become so passionate when it comes to wellness, like from a holistic standpoint, your body and your mental health and your spiritual and your emotional health, like how it all comes together, because it all affects everything affects each other. You If you start eating like shit, or if you eat like shit, it's going to impact your energy levels. Your energy levels are going to impact how much you're able to be creative or produce. If you're tired all the time and you're drained all the time, you're not going to be in a place where you could be creative, where you could work a little harder. If you're not working out, like just like a garden, like anything left to itself goes sour. If you leave a garden to itself, if you leave a garden to itself and you don't tend to the garden, what's going to happen? There's going to be weeds, and pretty much the weeds are going to eat up the garden eventually, because you're not actually tending to it. You're not pulling out the weeds. You're not nurturing it. You're not watering the garden. You're not putting fertilizer. You're not doing these things. You have to do the same thing with your body. You have to do the same thing with your mind. And I know hearing this, somebody's going to think like that sounds like a lot of work. But let me tell you, I truly believe you choose your heart. Choose your heart. It's hard to be consistent in the gym and make sure you're eating healthy. And honestly, once you get started, it's not that hard, because our brains honestly love routine. So the quicker you implement small changes into your routine to where it becomes normal for you, the less you have to think about. But it can be hard to stay on track with living a healthier lifestyle. It could also be hard to be sick in your body and unable to move, and constant back pain and constant knee pain and constant chest pain and high blood pressure and being on 4 medications a day. I would much, much rather have to be remembering to take my 4 supplements a day than needing to take 8 different pills a day because my health has declined. Choose your heart. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Choose your heart. Listen, I remember this one time. This is when I lived with my mom, and I've been pretty consistent with working out for a long time. Like I had seasons where like I would do good and it kind of fall off, but I would always get back on track, and that's the most important part. Like, who cares if you fall off track? Just get back on, okay? But I would always get back on track. And so my mom, she was like upset, I guess, because I wasn't doing things around the house to the extent that she wanted me to. And she was like, you always make time. You always make sure, you go work out and you go to the gym. You always make sure you do that. But you don't be, you don't make sure you do X, Y, and Z when I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And at first, like, I was like, okay, because, maybe she was trying to make me, I'm not going to say she was trying to make me feel bad, but for lack of better words, she was trying to say, like, whatever you want to do, you make sure you do it. And I was like, yeah. I remember I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that's the key. The things that I want to do, I do. Yes. And then even with my workouts, like I also was like, I'm not about to apologize for the fact that I prioritize working out. I prioritize exercising over a lot of things. Absolutely. There are some days where the dishes will not be done, but my workout will be, because for me, it's a priority. You gotta just, it became a priority to me. So what are you prioritizing? What's important to you? For me, when she said that, it just confirmed to me. I was like, I kind of patted myself on the back. It confirmed to me that exercising is important to me. Making my smoothies is important to me. Juicing was important. Those things were important to me. And I just was not about to apologize for them. So you got to figure out what is important to you. Now, I do have a journaling prompt for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and read it, because y'all already know I always have my notes. What parts of my life feel out of alignment right now? What have I been forcing, ignoring, or pretending is fine when it's really not? Now, this journaling exercise should not be quick. I really want you to sit and think. Maybe take about 15, 20 minutes to sit and do this journaling exercise, because there are so many things that play a part in how we show up on an everyday basis. And if you are forcing things, right, you're trying to make things happen by force. If you are ignoring things, so you're trying to act like things don't exist. If you are pretending things are fine when it's really not, that's not okay. And I'm telling you now, as a person who did all three of these things a lot, you have to face whatever you're scared to face. Because if you're forcing something, there's something there that you are trying to make happen. When I think when it comes to forcing, there's something that you might be desperate for. So this is where you're gonna see what are you desperate for that you're trying to force. If you are ignoring something, okay, what are you scared of facing? There's something that you're scared to face in that thing that you're ignoring, and you need to really revisit that and sit with that. And then what are you pretending is fine when it's really not? You're not doing yourself any favors by pretending. I'm telling you, you're not. If you're trying to act like something's fine, if I had a fucked up knee, but I told myself I was gonna go run a marathon, and I tried to pretend that everything was fine when I ran the marathon, I'm pretty sure about a quarter to halfway through the marathon, my knee would give out and I would have made everything worse because I was trying to pretend everything was fine. So what are you pretending is fine? Is it something in your body with these things, or maybe you're ignoring it? Is it something within your body that you're forcing or you're ignoring, or you're trying to pretend like it's fine when it's not? Do you need to go get an STD test? Are you pretending that's fine? Do you need to go to the doctor and go get a scan on your back? Are you having a crazy amount of headaches and you need to go check that out? Like, let's not ignore these things. Are you ignoring the fact, or are you trying to pretend like it's fine when somebody you don't like say you really don't like this person, or this person has done something really bad to you, and but y'all have to be around each other, or you try to pretend everything is fine even though they did something bad to you? No, I think it's time to address that. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to have your feelings heard, your point of view heard. Let's stop pretending like everything's fine if it's not. I remember, y'all, there was a situation that I had with a girl that used to be my friend, and it got to the point where we had got like in a physical fight, right? And for a very long time, of course, we were not friends anymore, but for a very long time, and this happened in my adult life. Like, I might talk about like no high school shit. Like, this shit happened when I was adult in the Navy. And for a long time after that situation, I really felt like I couldn't trust myself. Like, and on top of that, every time I thought of her or her name came up or I saw somebody in a picture or a video with her, my blood would just boil. I just could not figure out why I suddenly hated her so much, because I didn't hate her before then. And honestly, I didn't really hate her after the fact. It was unfortunate the way that things happened, the way that happened. But like, I just had such negative feelings, and I just, like, my blood would boil, and I just hated it. And it got to a point to where I hated that someone else had that much power over me. I hated that when I saw her, a picture of her or somebody in a video with her, that like it made my chest feel a certain way. So I had to really do some soul searching, with myself. I was in therapy and stuff, but like, I remember one time I was just journaling and I was praying, and I remember praying and asking God, like, please take these feelings away from me. Like, I don't want to feel this way about anybody, and I don't want any other person to have this much power over me. And what I ended up having to do to release that was I just reached out to her on Twitter. I remember I DM'd her and I told her, like, I'm not expecting you to respond. Like, I'm doing this for me. And I apologize for putting my hands on her, because I felt like, even though I felt like she was in the wrong the most in this situation, I felt like I could have just walked away. And the fact that after the fact that she felt like I had always felt some type of way towards her, and I knew that I had really loved her, I hated that was a thing, I've learned now that you do just have to be okay with being the villain in other people's story. But for that specific situation, like, I needed to apologize, like, sincerely. And I sent that message, and that was it. She read the DM, she never replied, and I was okay with that, because I didn't do that for her. I did that for me. So that was something that I had to face. I was trying to ignore those feelings or pretend like everything was okay within myself, knowing that I felt these feelings, after the fact, after the fight, I felt these feelings that I did not want. I did not want to keep feeling like that. Now, whenever I think of her, even talking about her now, nothing comes up for me because I released it. And so you need to really sit and think, what's blocking you? Is there somebody for you that when you think of this person, just these horrible, ill feelings of just hatred, just whatever just comes up? You need to sit with that. I'm not saying you might necessarily need to actually reach out to them. That is just what I felt like I needed to do. But what you're gonna figure out once you sit with yourself and you do the journaling, you'll be able to figure out what you need to do. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and comment what your favorite part was, or what you're going to be, what is something that you liked from the journaling exercise. Okay, well, thank y'all so much. I love y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Bye.